Time leaves its mark on places in very different ways. For some cities, time and history have shaped buildings and cityscapes. But in Macau, the hand of history is felt or tasted most strongly in the city's dominant passion, its love and craving for fine food. That fact is that Macau's complex history has bequeathed the city a culinary culture like no other. Here, in this melting pot of peoples and cultures, customs and diets have fused, resulting in an all-inclusive cooking style. Could there be a market anywhere in the world as boisterous as the one that awakens this city every morning? For Manuel, a Portuguese who's lived in Macau for 40 years, speaking Cantonese has long been essential to his daily life. Meanwhile, Angela Claudia Rodriguez is driving through the traffic on her way to work.
我有什么表情的吗？没有什么表情，正常就行。應該話係大部分嘅中國血統，有少部分嘅葡萄牙血統咯。同我所以我都可以算係一個土生葡人。
Even those forged by the vicissitudes of history find a place to settle down in the end. Here, for over 4 centuries, generations of Macanese have been born and raised. As well as establishing time-honored businesses, they've introduced Portuguese traditions into Macau's food culture. In 1979, Manuel moved to Macau and opened his Portuguese restaurant. His manager and sous chef is Tung Lai Ha from Zhuhai, Guangdong.
我以前跟他结婚的时候，煮饭我都不会。他要说我，你是不是中国女人啊？为什么做饭也不会啊？那我就学给他看了。他不教我，我就自己学的，跟他学。
You know it's a happy marriage when a couple's conversation centers around fine food.
葡國嗰啲魷魚檔淨係魷魚檔，好多餐廳淨魷魚檔。咁啊，不過有啲唔同嘅。
The Portuguese are fond of pork, and being a coastal nation in southwest Europe, it's only natural they enjoy the combination of pork and seafood. Manuel is preparing a stuffing with squid tentacles, Portuguese sausage and minced meat, seasoned by red chili powder, black pepper and white wine. In traditional Portuguese cooking, onions, bell peppers and tomato sauces feature prominently. According to Manuel, stuffed squid has to be slow cooked.
Okay, wow.
他要慢慢来，我要快一点。葡萄牙是慢慢来，慢慢来，没问题。中国人不是嘛？快点，快点，快点，就这样吵架。
对耶。
每天都吵架。
Over the years, the go fast, go slow pace of work has synergized into a stable work-life balance.
你熟嘅用種，報國菜同埋澳門菜本身唔同嘅。不過報國菜嘢我都嘢做有最緊要有一個橄欖油、白酒，有好多嘢唔同嘅澳門。
White wine adds a fruitiness to the broth, while the stuffed squid is a flavor sensation. The penetrating flavor of salty sour sauce on the outside giving way to delicious freshness inside. It's a dish that has all the warmth and vitality of a Mediterranean breeze. Having finished the day's work, Angela hurries home. She has an appointment with her mother.
隻手唔係咁樣，係咁樣。
咁樣啊嘛，當。
好驚你隻手嗱，你家下你斬喺呢度斬落去，隻手攞開下，唔該你。跟住呢個要切咗去。
Angela's father is 3/4 Portuguese, while her mother is a native of Fujian. In local Macanese families like theirs, a special recipe has been passed down for generations. A homemade dish replete with the history of this place as well as delicious ingredients.
再大間啲，多啲，多啲。OK， 快啲落街啦！如果唔係就就。
The curcuma powder, a flavor and color enhancer originally from India, came to Macau during the Age of Discovery, along with many other spices. The use of coconut milk in Macanese cooking was introduced by the Portuguese in the 16th century. Coconut milk soon usurped hard-to-come-by dairy milk. But others in Macau choose to stick to authentic Portuguese cuisine. Tonight's a special occasion, so Manuel's offering a spectacular for his main course, roast suckling pig.
咪要開要cuisine，咁你要擺嗰啲一齊嘛，擺緊苗，冇咁多。
This delicacy turns out to be another cultural exchange between East and West.
葡國嗰啲魚翅、燒魚翅同埋中國魚翅唔同嘅，真係。葡國魚翅有少少鹹啲，同埋少少辣辣地。跟住你嗰啲中國魚翅有啲甜甜地啊嘛。
The Portuguese and Cantonese versions of the roast pig are like two acquaintances who've walked past one another so many times that it's now hard to say who influenced whom. In the Portuguese version, the entire pig is marinated from the inside out, while in the Cantonese version, only the inside is marinated and the skin is crispy. The Portuguese version is baked in an oven, whereas the Cantonese one requires a much more complicated procedure. where honey, water and red vinegar are used to toughen the skin in preparation for a shower of flame.
明爐燒呢就個皮呢就比較脆啲啦，以即係芝麻皮啦，同埋個炭燒香味啦嘅特點喺度啦。
Different experiences, different results. The Cantonese roast pig, with all its fancy tricks, has come a long way from its homely origins. Thanks to tasty crispy skin, it is now one of global cuisine's pork crown jewels. Meanwhile, the Portuguese roast pig has retained its original modest flavour, easily achievable at home or in a restaurant.
嗰啲人幾時啊？人生日啊，人又 BB 做晒啊，又咩嗰啲生日嗰啲先係嗰啲人係食魚翅，而家用嗰啲用投資手嗰啲人做啊，魚翅一樣啲人好中意食啲咩嘢做啊？
Guests at this party may have distinct looks of their respective races or bear marks of two worlds crossing paths. But the difference in culture or language no longer keeps them apart. They are united in their common passion for fine food. The last course on the menu takes only 2 minutes to prepare. A classic soup made of red pepper, minced garlic and white wine is used to cook fresh clams. With a touch of sharpness squeezed from lemon. Once these fragrant wine-infused clams are served, this cross-cultural party really starts to swing.
Viva saúde, obrigada. 多謝多謝啊！
第一次見到你咁樣啦，咪要哎呀點解呢個靚女咁靚啊？未啊，都要揾個要唔要同我拍拖啊嘛，係咪先啊？咁咪咁樣自家嚟咁。
他們喜歡吃葡國菜，我喜歡吃廣東菜，他也喜歡吃廣東菜啊。跟我一起，他什麼都會吃了。現在，他很顧忌，他不要送貨啊，自己買是顧忌嘛。
In the symphony of time, the romantic encounter is the defining chord. And that encounter, having lasted for centuries, has left us with the most splendid culture, as well as the earliest fusion cuisine in China, Macanese food. Every morning, Lam Kok Lon drives to the market, honouring a century-long tradition for restaurant owners, purchasing everything himself.
這個店呢，是我的爺爺開的，1918年就開始了，已經有100多年了，差不多全澳門的葡萄牙人都懂這個店。
Lam Kok Lon's confidence comes from the restaurant's long history and a recipe that never changed. Chilies pickled in vinegar. Their trademark appetizer is made by marinating green chilies in salt and white vinegar. Though made using a simple procedure involving little or no technique, they've been around unchanged for 300 years and are only available in old restaurants like this. Lam Kok Lon's restaurant witnessed the coming into being of Macanese food.
一位帶10號仔姐姐度。
And uncommonly, it sells wine by the glass.
来了27年，第一次就是1993年到现在。
Sim, já conheço este sítio há 6 anos e é comida tradicional portuguesa, mesmo à nossa forma, mesmo à nossa maneira.
這個時代，對不對？15、16歲話，個顧客嘅主要對象咧係葡萄牙人啊，係中葡嘅混血兒啊，有啲公職人員啊咁。回歸咧中國咧，好多遊客嚟咧，好多中國遊客都嚟呢間鋪頭，生意咧就越來越做火紅啦。請你啱度嘅辣椒醬。
This strong-flavored appetizer that can be paired with almost anything is not in fact an invention of the restaurant, but rather a treat developed over time. At the end of the 15th century, after Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas, chilies, an aboriginal plant of South America, were brought back to Europe. This appetite-boosting food soon gained popularity. The Portuguese applied the same method they had used to pickle other vegetables to this New World arrival. The result was this zingy yet homely snack. Trying new flavors requires courage and a sense of adventure. As the spices came to Macau via the maritime Silk Road, a chili-based cuisine began to grow here. The brave new culinary world was born. African chicken, the quintessence of Macau's spicy food, can be found on the menu of almost every restaurant here.
非洲雞一定要辣，辣椒係非洲雞嘅靈魂。我做嘅非洲雞最少3種辣椒，一定有朝天椒，佢夠辣，而且佢夠香。
Hot oil draws out the strong flavor from within the chilies. When cooking African chicken, the marinade is everything, chilies being the core of the dish. Just as Portuguese-style chicken isn't exactly from Portugal, neither is this dish authentically African. Instead, it is the product of the spices brought by trade and their gradual incorporation into cooking. The end result is a hot, tasty treat exclusive to Macau. Veteran cooks like 67-year-old Belach Chan are key to passing on Macau's gourmet heritage. Every day, he's first to enter the kitchen. His day's work begins with a prayer to the kitchen god. The only thing irreplaceable in this kitchen is Belach Chan himself, the glue that binds everything together. The prosperity of this restaurant, which first opened in 1903, is underpinned by its loyal staff.
我係1986年嚟㗎，咁喺呢度做咗都有35年啦。
我係1978年嚟呢度做嘢啦，做到依家2021年都有43年。
One dish on their menu has never faded in popularity. Shek Ki roasted pigeon, introduced to the Canton area by overseas Chinese. Early last century, the restaurant gained fame for its roast pigeon. After years of improvement, the recipe now includes the Cantonese soy sauce, along with the dried cinnamon leaves and rosemary of Portuguese cuisine.
將嗰個燒鴿咧又加咗葡國香草落去，咁咧就好受外國人同埋中國人嘅歡迎啦。
The cooking technique follows the tradition. The pigeon is deep fried in lard till the skin appears dark red and the herbal fragrance of rosemary is brought out. Giving the dish a universally popular flavour. Unlike the big restaurants, Lam Kok Lon's place is more down to earth. Years ago, he even convinced his brother to join the team.
因為為咗揾食嘅緣故啦，咁大家合作下嚟做啦，又可以一來有興趣啦，二來係謀生條件啦，又可以揾到錢啦，大家組織個快樂家庭啦。
Since then, with his brother running the business, Lam Kok Lon has been able to focus on cooking, perfecting his already adept skills. Red wine oxtail stew is a classic dish known to everyone in Macau, and you can find it in almost all restaurants. Based on the original European version and marinated along with ingredients and spices common in Western cuisine, as well as authentic Portuguese red wine. The oxtail is then pan-fried in olive oil to keep the beef fresh. But rather than baking it, people here braise it. The result of this simplified procedure is delicious, melt-in-the-mouth oxtail. Compared to what's served in the fancy restaurants, Lam Kok Lon's version appears more humble, sometimes with cabbage featuring in the stew. For over 100 years, this small diner has played its modest role as an essential part of neighborhood life.
睇啲焗魚得未？要蒙閪查查。啱入嚟幾耐啊？年輕呢一代人都估做這個釘啦，冇乜能力做啦，做咗2-3年之後咧，雖然話好生意，但係都好可惜，但係我都會放手唔做嘅。冇辦法，呢個係歷史巨輪。如果你中意幫襯咧，你就得閒你捧我場。
Goodbye, they say, is one of the hardest words to say, especially in a tiny place like Macau. The end of a century-old tradition may be a serious issue, but it never bothers Lam Kok Lon. Keeping the business going while he still can means everything to him. Elsewhere in Macau, other restaurants choose a different path from Lam Kok Lon's adherence to Portuguese tradition. With their more adaptive and inclusive approach, they are attracting more and more tourists.
咗好多中式嘅元素喺入邊，葡國菜啦，有中國式嘅食物啦，奶茶咖啡啦，咁又適合翻澳門人嘅口味，因為始終食早餐咧都中意飲咖啡奶茶。
Rice with minced pork is something everyone in Macau is familiar with. Together with other local specialities, it's heading into an era of fast-paced life. Things change so fast that even the older generation are altering their lifestyles. At 74, Francisco Javier keeps a schedule busier than his juniors. The last thing he wants is to be left behind.
做廚師咧就一定要不停改變啲菜式，如你唔改變咧，啲人客人或者食咗10次8次，你都係咁做翻咁嘅，佢就冇乜意思再嚟食。 Javier's restaurant is frequented by his fans.
Before the handover of Macau in 1999, he had served 6 governors in succession.
我從澳督府出嚟咧，嚟到餐廳做咧，都要跟翻呢度嘅口味啦，要改啦。因為已經改變啦，同埋而家葡國菜咧都要改變晒㗎啦，同以前係唔同嘅。
Javier is known for being one of the most innovative of his generation of Macau chefs. Combining traditional Portuguese food and Chinese cuisine has been an eye-opening experience for him. This morning, in search of culinary inspiration, Javier decides to visit an old friend. His name is Iu Iam Lim, owner of a time-honored dessert shop in Macau.
係點做啊？有冇溝米啊、落米啊？
冇，我哋原來嘅杏仁嚟到兩熬嘅。但係啲椰汁咧個好處咧就係話，隨後我哋落喺甜品上面去用咧，或者蛋糕，其他亦都可以用呢個椰香味嘅。
哦，
好，好，我哋試下我哋呢個無糖嘅杏仁。
哇！
係，嗰個無糖杏仁咧就俾你咧就可以配合我哋做燉湯。
哇！好香，好香。
嚇！
Inspired by the desserts, Javier plans to reinvent a classic Portuguese dessert using sugar-free almond milk. Whereas traditional Portuguese sweet rice is made using massive quantities of milk, Javier wants to substitute almond milk, thereby neutralizing the fattiness and transforming the flavor.
加咗個杏仁露咧，煮出嚟嘅甜飯咧，味道係唔同咧，有香嘅杏仁味啦，同埋食咗落去個喉嚨都好舒服。
Butter, sugar and yolk together contribute to the exquisite texture. With less milk, the sweetness becomes gentler. Whereas the almond enhances the rice's taste. Adding a Chinese element while keeping the essence of the original.
葡國菜就必定要用橄欖油啦、蒜頭啦、洋葱啦、番茄啦、葡國臘腸啦、水腩啦，或者係魚類就係馬介休啦。馬介休咧喺葡國菜裏邊咧就係好重要嘅。你一間葡國菜你冇馬介休嘅菜式咧，就唔係葡國菜嚟㗎。
Bakalao, one of Portugal's most beloved dishes, made with salted black cod from the Arctic Ocean. Allegedly, it was an invention of Portuguese sailors. It requires huge amounts of salt, since it's not simply left to dry, making it much saltier than Chinese salted fish.
呢度厚身嘅咧，佢要泡耐啲嘅，泡3日，泡2日水，1日鮮奶。因為點解派鮮奶咧？泡鮮奶咧，佢啲肉咧就會滑啲，就好食啲嘅。
The bacalao, now softened from the soaking, is as juicy as fresh meat, with salt penetrating each of its fibers. This naturally flavored special treat has played an active role in Macau cuisine for centuries.
煎、炸、焗、烤、燒、釀，馬介休咧起碼超過有300-500種做法。
Even today, some veteran Macau cooks still use the time-honored method of tenderizing the flesh of the fish by giving it a good beating. Bakalao balls, a homegrown Macau snack as renowned as the egg tart.
Hey, 成哥，係，韋醫生，好你好，喂，坐陣先。好。你煮乜我食乜嘢啦？
好啊，咁啊，今日做個馬介休舌頭嗰隻。
係，好嘢，好嘢。
係嘛？
哇，好多條魚喎要。
係啊，因為一條魚得一條脷。
As one-time sous chef in the governor's kitchen, Javier has access to cod tongue, the holy grail of seafood cuisine. It is the rarest part of Bakalao, hard to find even in its country of origin. Soaking it in icy water will neutralize the saltiness as well as firm up the meat. There are no references for cooking Bakalao. In the making of this Macau delicacy, Javier relies solely on his knowledge of Portuguese cuisine, with a touch of Chinese thinking. Red chili paste and other ingredients lend an appetizing piquant sweetness, while white wine and fish soup intensify the Portuguese flavor. For centuries, Macau has seen countless individuals fascinated by the merging of two very different culinary traditions, the Portuguese and the Chinese. It is them that laid down the foundations of the city's culinary tradition. But Macau has so much more to offer than Macanese dishes. 1 year ago, Wong Pui Lan started getting around in a wheelchair. Every morning, her son wheels her through the old alleyways to their own restaurant.
我是在缅甸出生的，1971年回来的。我带着3个孩子回来，来到这边，我有可以煮这个鱼汤粉卖。那时我真的就推车仔，在路边卖鱼汤粉了。
Between the 1960s and 1970s, a great number of overseas Chinese in Southeast Asia returned to settle in Macau, bringing with them various food cultures. It gave Macau's local cuisine a distinct Southeast Asian flavor. Fairly affordable, they soon grew popular, mostly served in little shops hidden away in side streets.
卖鱼汤粉，越卖越好，越卖越好，就高兴了。要像刘家勤劳，才赚到好多钱。
Now in her 80s, Wong Pui Lan has handed over the restaurant to her son.
係魚湯粉咧，其實咧用好多魚做都得，但係傳統嘅緬甸人做魚湯粉一定要用糖虱魚，其他嘅魚咧比較會腥好多嘅，譬如嗰啲大魚咧會腥，但係糖虱魚咧係唔會腥嘅。
Cooking noodle soup with catfish has been Wong Pui Lan's secret recipe since her days as a street vendor. Boil it for half an hour, long enough to ensure the meat is cooked through, but short enough to prevent the flesh from disintegrating. Clarius fuscus, also known by many other names including yellow catfish. A spoon is all it takes to scoop out its meat. Spices are the soul of Southeast Asian cooking. Curcuma powder from India and fish curry powder from Thailand are thrown into the oil to bring out their strong flavors. In order to enrich the soup, rice powder is added. Stirred hundreds of times and poked and prodded, the flesh eventually turns into floss, the most important ingredient of the noodle soup. Putting the floss into the soup, along with some lemongrass, completes this exotic Southeast Asian treat.
緬甸咧就魚湯粉咧就一定要有椒心嘅，呢個咧係傳統咧緬甸人嘅特色。
Banana pith, delicate core of the plant, is a common ingredient in tropical countries of Southeast Asia.
點解可能會落椒心咧？可能緬甸人佢哋冇乜嘢食，佢哋咧係好中意愛嚟充飢、愛嚟飽肚嘅，就成為咗緬甸嘅魚湯粉嘅一個好大嘅特色。冇椒心嘅就唔可以叫做魚湯粉。
After being cooked together for 3 hours, the ingredients have long been inseparable. The tasty fish, refreshing spices, and slightly sweet banana pith make for a rich taste. Along with the chewy rice noodles, this street food has more to offer than it seems. Novelty and exotic taste made Southeast Asian food an immediate hit in Macau. Soy brined intestine may sound Chinese, but it has a distinct Myanmar flavor thanks to the use of cinnamon leaves and lemongrass from that country. Besides the fish soup rice noodles, Wong Pui Lan's restaurant has one more signature product.
Tôi mami yêu会煮鱼头丸，又会炒马来盏，所以我的马来盏很好很好生意啊。我们在缅甸是叫pigeon，叫做马来盏，也是我改的。
Whether that's really how it got its name or not, the popularity of Belach Chan is undeniable. It is in fact a spicy shrimp paste from Myanmar.
其實做馬拉盞咧，一定要用呢啲乾葱咧，啲馬拉盞先至會真正會好靚㗎。因為咧佢比洋葱咧個水分咧就低好多，炸起上嚟咧佢乾身，同埋咧嗰陣香氣咧就特別。
When making Belach Chan, every ingredient has to be handled with care. Garlic and onion are deep fried till they are crispy and flavorful. And the most essential part is dried shrimp, accompanied by Wong Pui Lan's secret recipe chili oil.
啱啦，佢咁樣執。
如果到咗我哋港澳人之後咧，唔係咁食得辣，所以將啲辣度咧就係會調翻低啲，就少少辣咧就其實最啱港澳人啊，我哋中國人食嘅。好啦，阿婆，嗱試下今次嗰啲有咩味道，慢慢試下。
得，嗰次得。
OK 啦。好啦，冇問題啊。
冇問題，得。你做到魚丸已經醬到啦嘛。
The final step is mixing the 3 ingredients together. A job for 2. Lei Lo Hua used to help his mother when he was a child. And now it's the other way around.
我幫我媽媽手都幾十年㗎啦。我細個7歲咧，我哋喺緬甸嚟咧，我已經幫我媽媽咧就擺檔賣冰嘅。我細個已經識偷食啊，識整嘢俾人食㗎啦。我覺得嗰陣時已經好有滿足感。
Be it in kitchen or in life, being there for your loved ones is always the best.
因為有我媽媽，我日又見住佢，夜又見住佢。其實咧呢種咧係一種緣分啦。我其實好多年我都好開心，好開心，好滿足。
Another bustling morning in Macau. Every day at this hour, Sari Xiong Mishai walks through 3 or 4 markets, purchasing authentic food from Thailand, his home country.
我媽媽就係第一代嚟澳門嘅泰國人，咁佢就係我哋細個就已經開始做餐廳，我叫餐飲，嗰時未有開餐廳。咁我哋就喺屋企做嘢食嘅，咁我伯娘啊，咁我阿媽，咁我有時幫手啊，咁佢哋就打電話嚟嗌外賣，咁我哋就打包，跟住我就送外賣咯。
Growing up in such an environment, Sari became an expert on Thai food. As a Macau citizen with Thai heritage, he has made promoting Thai food his speciality. Sari has the luxury of owning a private studio in Macau, where cost of land is extravagant. In here, he works to innovate Thai food with 3 cooks from Thailand. Macau has a long tradition of appreciating Thai food. Many chefs from Thailand have made a name for themselves in the city, and they account for the majority of Thai immigrants here.
I work in Macau is 10 years already. We use the Thai herbs from the Thailand that we cook for Thai curry.
Chef Prompak insists on using fresh spices imported from Thailand when cooking curry. Baked coriander seeds with their dominant scent are mixed with a myriad of other spices to create the base flavor of Thai curry.
And then for the south, the culture, they will like very strong spicy. They will use the kind of the chili is the most spicy when they cook the curry.
Whether it's the red curry made with red chili or green curry with green chili and basil, Chef Prompak can recreate their varied flavors before combining them with local ingredients in Macau to provide customers with an authentic taste of Thailand. Unlike Chef Prompak, who's obsessed with curry, Sari's job seems more relaxing. Seeking fine food has always been his biggest hobby.
由細個開始啦，你見我咁肥已經知啦。
Scattered across the city are restaurants with respective specialities, most of which only serve patrons. Every gourmet here has their own gastronomic map of the city. Be it hot pot, or a humble restaurant, or an exquisite French feast that is almost too good to be true. Sari loves them all and finds in them inspiration for his own creations. Having done his due diligence, Sari has given himself a whole new challenge: Thai-style royal dishes.
仲有宮廷菜，泰國好彩有啲書喺度嘅，就會寫翻低，真係之前啲御廚啊咁會寫翻低出嚟嘅。咁我哋就會有啲後人就會攞翻佢出嚟再睇咯，咁我再做翻跟翻佢方法去做翻出嚟。
Over 20 royal Thai dishes are found in historical records. Using availability of materials and ingredients in Macau as the criteria, he narrows it down to 4, plus one main course served in magnificent silverware. The main course is made from fresh lobster from South America, Before cooking it, great effort is put into preparing the authentic Thai sauce. Freshness is an absolute must. The lemon leaf is used to moderate the spiciness and, along with green mango slices, create a refreshing flavor. Sea prawns are fine just by themselves, but for this dish, they're mashed to embellish texture and color.
宮廷菜都係蛋嘅，但係佢要多幾重功夫，幾多樣嘢去整咯，更加複雜，即係講緊係做好多工序上多啲少少嘅嘢咯。
As complicated as it is to prepare, the lobster is surprisingly simple to cook. Such is Sari's understanding of his royal Thai cuisine. It represents not only the highest level of Thai food, but also the adaptability of Macau culture.
我每次嚟都可以有啲唔同嘅嘢，唔同新鮮感，咁都夠㗎啦，好玩㗎啦，好玩對我嚟講係好玩咯。我係好怕悶，即係來煮來到同一樣嘢，我開始，唉，又係嗰樣嘢，我真係有少少我驚悶我自己。
As time goes by, Macanese food has become part of the city's culture, as well as an inspiration for many. Here, in this private kitchen, a taste exclusive to Macau is in the making. When the salty shrimp sauce joins forces with whiskey, the result is a truly unique flavour.
粵菜啲鹹蝦醬係一嚿嚿啦，咁我哋自己澳門土生嘅鹹蝦醬就係水啲嘅，因為我哋用酒嚟浸個鹹蝦。呢個就係講緊鹹蝦醬。
For Netta, an indigenous Macanese, Macanese food is part of her culture that cannot be forgotten. By sharing it, the culture is kept alive.
我梗係希望我哋澳門土生餸發揚光大啦！希望嚟到澳門真係食翻一個正正宗宗嘅澳門土生餸。
Memories may fade, but the wonderful things in life, however trivial they may seem, always leave their traces behind. The gourmet tradition of Macau looks set to prosper even more as the city becomes more open and inclusive. Maybe a new, classic made in Macau flavour is waiting just around the corner to be discovered.